mathematicians, we recently talked about different angles formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal. Today we are going to look more in depth at their angle measurements. So if we have, again, two parallel lines cut by a transversal, so what we talked about, two parallel lines cut by a transversal, corresponding angles are congruent. Now remember, corresponding ones are the ones in the same spot as each other. Okay. So for instance, 1 is in the same spot as 5. This one's above the parallel line. This one's above the left parallel line. Okay. So they are the same measure. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate interior. So they alternate on the inside of the parallel line. So 4 and 6. They alternate on the side of that transversal and they are inside the parallel. Alternate exterior are congruent. So on the outside, 2 alternate, go on the other side, out would be 8. So 2 and 8 would be the same. Consecutive interior angles, supplementary. What does it mean to be supplementary? Add to 180. So consecutive interior mean they are both inside on the same side as the transversal. So 4 plus 5 equals 180. 3 plus 6 also equals 180. And then recall vertical angles are always congruent. Linear pair, or ones that form a straight line, are supplementary. And what does supplementary mean? 180. Okay. So knowing their spot helps us find angle measurement. So, if we know one angle, we can figure out all of them. So I have two parallel lines. So here are my parallel lines, one. Here's my second one. So these ones are exterior, on the inside, interior. And this is my transversal cutting them. So angle 1 is 65 degrees. We can now figure out all of those because we know 65. So our first question asks us, what is angle 2? Well, what do these two lines make? Two angles make? A straight line. And a straight line adds up to be 180. So how can I find the measure of angle 2? 180 minus 65. And that is 115 degrees. Okay. Now it asks us to find angle 3. What do you know about angle 1 and angle 3? They're in the same spot. They are not same spot. They are across from one another, so they are vertical. What do you know about vertical angles? They're the same. So this one is 65 degrees. Angle 4. What do you know about angle 4? It's across from angle 2. So angle 4 must be 115 degrees. So there's those four. Now we have to jump down. What do you know about angle 1 and angle 5? They're in the same spot. This is upper left of the parallel, upper left of the parallel. So if this one's 65, this one also must be 65 degrees. You also can see that these are alternating interior. Okay? They are inside, but this one's on each side of that transversal. So that is also means that they are the same. For that same reason, if angle 2 and angle 6 are in the same spot, upper right, what must angle 6 be? 115 degrees. You also could have said alternating interior. Angle 7. You either could say it makes a straight line with angle 6, or what else? Vertical from angle 5. Vertical angles must be the same. So angle 7 is 65 degrees. Lastly, angle 8. What do you know about angle 8 and angle 6? Vertical. Vertical angles are the same. So what is angle 8? 115 degrees. Okay. So make sure you check to see what type of angle pair do we have, and then would that make them congruent, which is most of them, or a few of them would be supplementary adds to 180. We are going to use that knowledge to find missing angle measurements, okay, using variables. So you need to first figure out what type of angles do we have. Am I inside or outside those parallel lines? Both angles are inside the parallel lines. Okay. Are they consecutive or alternating? Consecutive mean they're on the same side of the transversal. Alternating mean they are on opposite sides. Alternating. So these are alternating interior angles. What do you know about alternating interior angles? They are congruent. So I need to set these two equal to each other. 13x minus 21 equals 5x plus 75. Get x on both sides. We have x on both sides. Get them on the same. So minus 5x minus 5x. 8x minus 21 equals 75. Now what do you do? Add 21 on both sides. 8x equals 96. And lastly, divide by 8. X equals 12. So if it asks you to find x, you're done. What would you do if it asked you to find the angle measurements? Plug 12 back in, so find this angle for me. What do we get for this angle? 135 degrees. If this one's 135, this one must be 135 degrees. So figure out what type of angles you have. Solve based off of if they are equal to each other or if they add to 180. Nice job. Next one. Again, we have to decide, are we interior or exterior first? So am I inside or outside the parallel lines? We are inside. So I have interior angles. Am I alternating or am I consecutive? Consecutive mean we're on the same side of the transversal. Alternating mean opposite. These are the same. So consecutive interior angles. What do you know about consecutive interior angles? They are supplementary or they add to 180. So if these two angle measurements add to 180, add them together and have them equal 180. So if they are consecutive interior, they are supplementary or they add to 180. Now go ahead and solve for x. 5x and 9x, 14x. 3 minus 33, negative 30. What would you do to solve for x now? Add 30 on both sides. And lastly, divide by 14. X equals 15. If it asked you for x, you'd be done. What if it asked you for the angle measurements? Take the value, plug it back in. So find the top angle right here for me. What did we get? 78 degrees. So this bottom one would be 180 minus 78 or 102. So depending on what type of angle they are, corresponding in the same spot, alternate interior on the inside but opposite sides, inside parallel, opposite transversal, alternate exterior on opposite outsides, consecutive in the same spot, vertical across. Find what type of angle it is, then either set them equal to each other or add them to be 180. Nice job today, mathematicians.